Director J.J. Abrams' political activism has prompted online fans to boycott Star Wars The Force Awakens for being anti-white. Ted Cruz says the threats to internet freedom have, quote, never been greater, and the migrants keep on coming with no end in sight. So what's the German word for oops? My name is Howard Riell, and this is Riell Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com, and on Facebook, and on YouTube, and on Tumblr, and in the book, Riell Truth, Stay Angry. And of course, as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM, The Lion. And the call-in number, 877-254-7524. My friends, welcome back. Item from Reuters Dateline, Dresden, Germany. The German anti-Islam movement Pegida staged its biggest rally in months on Monday, sparked into fresh life on its first anniversary by anger at the government's decision to take in hundreds of thousands of migrants from the Middle East. Pegida, or Patriotic Europeans Against the Islamization of the West, almost fizzled out earlier this year when its leader resigned after a photo was published of him posing as Hitler. But it was swelled again as Germany implements Chancellor Angela Merkel's decision to accept a tide of refugees that could exceed 1 million this year, as she argues that Germany can not only cope, but with its aging population will benefit in the long term, unquote. My friends, they're stupid, and then they're stupid, and then there's a kind of stupid that gets people killed. It is this third classification in which I place Angela Merkel and all the other liberals who have thrown open the doors to millions of third world Muslims. With Germany's aging population, she believes that this will benefit the country in the long run. Now, I don't know Angela Merkel. I don't know if she's profoundly stupid or if she's simply a political whore who's willing to destroy her own country for political ends. But whichever it is, I'm inclined to think it's a little bit of both. She is condemning Germany to death by inviting in 1 million this year. Who knows how many in the future, people who hate Germany, hate Germans, and want to see Germany ended and replaced by a Muslim country. Well, friends, if you've been listening to the show for any length of time, you know I couldn't care less what happens to Germany. As far as I'm concerned, it can disappear. But to be replaced by an Islamic country? No, not a good idea. Certainly not a good idea for the Germans, not a good idea for the rest of the world, nor is it a good idea for the rest of the world for any of Germany, any of Europe, to be accepting in Muslim migrants who come with one mission in mind, and that's to expand the Muslim Ummah, the Muslim world community, and establish a caliphate. By the way, I'll throw this in just because I have a few extra seconds. It's happening here too. America is also slowly being killed, also, with an influx of third world refugees, except here it's a 1-2 punch. Obama's bringing in third world Muslim refugees in the Middle East. At the same time, we've got an uncontrolled flow of third world Mexican migrants coming here illegally. Any questions out there about why I yell on this show and why I get angry? It's my country they're trashing. Not just for me, but for my children. One day maybe grandchildren. For all Americans, the people in power, those who stand to benefit from a third world influx into this country, those are the ones who are selling us down the river. Those are the ones who are committing crimes against the American people. And those are the ones we have to stop. As far as Germany, auf Wiedersehen. Item from the Telegraph. Related item. German parliament members have reportedly drawn up plans to close the country's borders in a direct challenge to Angela Merkel's refugee policy. The move is the latest threat to the Schengen Agreement on border-free travel in continental Europe. A group of 188 parliament members, including many from Mrs. Merkel's own Christian Democrat Party, have prepared laws to fence off sections of the border. They say they will put them forward if Mrs. Merkel does not come up with a solution to the refugee crisis within weeks. unquote. My friends, I don't speak German, but I'm hoping someone in Germany can translate this. Oops. Item from the Blaze. Ted Cruz said on Sunday evening that threats to internet freedom have, quote, never been greater and could have the potential of affecting independent online news outlets like the Drudge Report. Speaking to the Blaze Sunday evening in Dallas, Texas, the Republican presidential candidate responded to reports that congressional review of digital copyright law could threaten aggregator news websites. I think threats to internet freedom continue growing, Cruz said. The administration views the internet as a threat, unquote. My friends, I continue to be impressed by Ted Cruz. He's sharp, he's smart, speaks the truth, and this is one of the truths, one of the most important truths that he's speaking. The powers that be cannot wait to basically shut down the internet. Item from the Examiner. This weekend was an inflection point in the Republican presidential race. A moment in which some significant part of the GOP establishment came out of denial and realized Donald Trump might well become their party's nominee. The Republican establishment for the first time is saying off the record that this guy can win, noted Joe Scarborough of MSNBC Monday morning. I've heard that from everybody. I don't hear anybody saying he can't win the nomination anymore. That doesn't mean Republicans have made their peace with the Trump victory. On the contrary, some are preparing to do whatever it takes to bring him down, which could lead to an extraordinary scenario in which GOP stalwarts go to war to destroy their own party's likely nominee, unquote. My friends, many times I refer to the immense body of wisdom to be found in the Talmud. It says in the Talmud that hate blinds a person. And of course, it's not limited to a single person. Hate will blind an organization. The power structure in this country, it's a beast with two heads, Democrat and Republican, but the power structure in this country hates the American people, hates our freedom, hates the fact that we can vote, hates anything that takes control out of their hands. Well, today they hate Donald Trump because he's not owned or controlled by them. He's not part of their machine. He says the things the American people want to be said and need to be said, and so they hate him, and so they are willing to basically commit Harry-Carry by targeting their own party's nominee. We're in great shape as a country, ain't we, folks? It's Tuesday, and it's Riell Truth. I'm not going anywhere, neither should you. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Phillips, founder of the Reader. How many times have you gone into a health food store and are confused as to the many different brands and prices on the same herbal supplements? You want to buy the cheapest, but you're afraid that quality is less, so you buy the most expensive. Truth is, the cheapest may be better. Green Herb herbal supplements are all manufactured in our Wheat Ridge, Colorado plant at 4565 Kinley Street, using the highest quality herbs that we source from all over the world. Our 150 different herbal supplements are the most potent and safest in America. Our guarantee is your money back, no time limit. Just return the bottle empty or full, no questions asked. So when you come to our new location, look for our new name, New Genesis Health, or call us at 888-765-HERB. That's 888-765-4372. Now this is the testimony of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" He confessed and did not deny, but confessed, "I am not the Messiah." And they asked him, "What then? Are you Elijah?" He said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" And he answered, "No." The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 19 through 21. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect
Why are you so surprised? I told you I'd be here waiting for you. Howard Riell. The show is called Riell Truth. I was speaking about Donald Trump and how the power brokers in this country, who only wish and dream that they could take away our right to vote, the power brokers are targeting Donald Trump. Why? Because they don't own him, they don't control him, and he wants what's good for the American people, not what's good for the power brokers. Which, coincidentally, is a segue into our first video from the Sean Hannity Show on Fox News. Donald Trump, go.
Well, the Hannity type, Donald Trump continues to soar in the polls. Brand new CBS News national poll has Donald Trump in first place with 27% of the vote. Dr. Ben Carson is in second place with 21%, and they are followed by Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, Carly Fiorina, who are all in the single digits. Trump is shaking up the political establishment with his dominance in the polls, but President Obama really doesn't seem too impressed with the GOP frontrunner. Here's what he said last night when asked about Donald Trump's success. Donald Trump. Why do I guess you really don't care
my friends, I love to hear Trump talk because he makes sense. He addresses real problems with real solutions. And remember, the power structure wants him out because he'd be a good president for the American people. And the two-party structure, the Democrats and the Republicans, hate the American people. They love the American people because they get money from us and they get ratchet up the taxes every chance they get. But as far as being public servants, they aren't. And they don't want to be. They feel that we are their servants, which is why we need a Donald Trump in the White House. I make no bones about it. Item from WWJ in Detroit. Officials say 2 paramedics are in serious condition after they were attacked and stabbed repeatedly while trying to help a woman on Detroit's west side, and the suspect remains on the loose. The incident happened after 12 a.m. Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. It was a horrific scene, said Fire Commissioner Eric Jones. It was a stabbing and a slashing. The paramedics have been called to an area to treat a woman with an ankle injury when a man who was with the woman became, quote, agitated and attacked, unquote. My friends, it's too bad he wasn't agitated and shot to death. But this shows you what Democratic policies will do. Detroit has been ruled by Democrats for decades and decades. Now, if Democratic policies work the way Democrats say they did, Detroit should be a utopia. Should be a heaven on earth. But you look at Detroit, you look at New Orleans, you look at other cities that have been Democratic strongholds for decades and decades, they are disasters because Democratic liberal policies never, ever work. Item from WorldNet Daily. Director J.J. Abrams' political activism has prompted online fans to boycott Star Wars The Force Awakens for being anti-white. The hashtag boycott Star Wars 7 exploded on Twitter Monday, just hours before the release of a new trailer during ESPN's Monday Night Football game between the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. The reason? Abrams' movie is allegedly a dream come true for race activists. Hashtag boycott Star Wars 7 because it is an anti-white propaganda promoting white genocide, unquote. An account called End Cultural Marxism said, quote, a friend in LA said hashtag Star Wars 7 is basically Black Lives Matter activist DeRay McKesson in space. The Hollywood Reporter found a tweet by a user identified as Captain Confederacy saying, quote, social justice warriors complain about white artists, quote, misappropriating culture created by blacks, but then celebrate a non-white Star Wars. It's nothing more than a social justice propaganda piece that alienates its core audience of young white males, another user tweeted, the website reported. The new Star Wars movie features a diverse cast, including John Boyega. When fans questioned how the British actor who's black could be a stormtrooper in November 2014, the actor responded, quote, get used to it, unquote, on Instagram, unquote. My friends, are we finished with race yet? Are we done with race yet? This guy's black, he should have been white. And this guy's white, he should have been black. How come there aren't enough black people, white people, green people, yellow people, polka dotted people? When will it be enough? We've got very real problems, real issues, real enemies. And instead of solving our problems and defeating our enemies, we bicker with each other over epidermal cells. Okay, I'll be back. More Riell Truth. That's skin, by the way. Skin. We'll be back.
Great Plains Power has been providing reliable electrical power systems in the Rocky Mountain area since 1992. Our systems rely on the sun to make you self-reliant for your power needs. Solar energy can be scaled to fit any situation, from complete power independence to backup power for the short term. Our expertise focuses on standalone power, but we have extensive experience with utility interactive systems as well. Custom catered capabilities as modest as emergency lighting all the way to commercial scale power. Great Plains Power is a full service company. We service everything we sell. We provide and design turnkey packages, custom design system, and parts for do-it-yourself. With more than 20 years of specialized experience at your disposal, let us know what your power concerns or goals are. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. That's 303-239-9963. Or go to location at 4565 Kipling Street, 1.5 blocks south of I-70. There are 83,000 cars a day passing in front of our new location on Kipling Street, and most of them thought we were a marijuana dispensary. So we changed the name of our retail store to New Genesis Health, but we kept the name of our green herb supplements. So when you come to our new location, look for our new name, New Genesis Health, or call us at 888-765-HERB. That's 888-765-4372. And be sure to listen to the Healthy Nature Show with Linda Phillips every Tuesday at 1 p.m. And of His fullness we have all received, and grace for grace. For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. No one has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, He has declared Him. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 16. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. This is the American News Network.
Guys, welcome back to Riell Truth. I am still Howard Riell, and I am still pissed at the way we are being absolutely handled by the powers that be. I don't like to be handled personally. I don't like to be treated like a fool, which our politicians do, which is why we need new politicians. Instead, over 90% of incumbents are reelected, and that's something that we, you and I, need to change. Now, Dick Morris says Congress is about to free tens of thousands of inmates. When I saw that today, it caught my eye. Let's find out what's going on. Here's Dick Morris.
Congress, and this is what the Republicans support, is prepared to change the federal sentencing guidelines to permit massive release of inmates from federal prison. The concept is that the original federal sentencing guidelines
Yeah, my friends, that seems to be the pattern in America. Over the last several years, we've gone backwards, and problems that we had solved, indeed, we have renewed and imported into this country. Why it's happening, well, I leave that to the historians to figure out, but I see it on the ground right here in the early 21st century. My analysis goes like this. It sucks. Item from the Washington Examiner. If nothing is done to address legal and illegal immigration, some 14 million more immigrants will come into the United States over the next 10 years, according to a warning call from two congressional immigration critics. In a full-page ad to run in roll call on Tuesday, that's today, and previewed in the paper today, meaning yesterday, Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions and Virginia Representative Dave Brat provided the raw data on the nation's building immigration problem and blew the whistle on the so-called Gang of Eight proposal to ease immigration rules. Including all forms of immigration, the Census Bureau estimates another 14 million immigrants will enter the U.S. on net between now and 2025. That's almost 5 times the number of students who will graduate from public high school in America this year, the two wrote. Much of it is legal and threatens U.S. workers, they added. Unquote. My friends, everybody's screaming about illegal immigration, and they should, but I don't see that we need legal immigration for the time being either. Ann Coulter said it, and she was very wise when she said it. Let's put a moratorium on all immigration until we figure the whole issue out. Well, that makes sense to me. Doesn't make sense to the power brokers in Washington, who are getting richer and richer by bringing all the third world welfare seekers into this country. Item from the Economic Collapse blog. When the global economy is doing well, the amount of stuff that's imported and exported around the world goes up. When the global economy is in recession, the amount of stuff being imported and exported around the world goes down. It is just basic economics. Governments around the world have become very adept at manipulating other measures of economic activity, such as GDP, but the trade numbers are more difficult to fudge. Today, China accounts for more global trade than anyone else on the entire planet, and we've just learned that Chinese exports and Chinese imports are both collapsing right now. This is just part of a larger trend. As I discussed the other day, British banking giant HSBC has reported that total global trade is down 8.4% so far in 2015, and global GDP expressed in US dollars is down 3.4%. The only other times global trade has plummeted this much has been during other global recessions, and it appears that this new downturn is only just the beginning. Item from the End of the American Dream blog. Once upon a time, America fought a great war to rid the world of Nazis, but now we've become just like them. In fact, I would venture to say that the Nazification of the United States is pretty much complete. As you'll see below, we have a heavily socialized economy where tax rates are out of control and lots of freebies are being given out just like the Nazis did. And just like the Nazis, our society has become highly militarized and our government has become increasingly obsessed with watching, tracking, monitoring, and controlling the general population. But more than anything else, all the pageantry and beauty of our society masks an evil which has grown to a level that's almost unspeakable. The other day, my wife and I were watching some footage of the beautiful parades and celebrations that were held in Germany before World War II, and they certainly were very impressive. But under the surface, a great evil was growing. Just because something happens behind closed doors does not make it okay. And just like the Nazis, our society is about to learn an exceedingly painful lesson in that regard. Unquote. We'll be back. Alright guys, I am just about done with the video. There we go, almost at 37 minutes. I'll be posting it as usual. You know the routine, look for it, listen to it again, share it, talk to people about it, get busy. So much to be done, my friends. If you're spending your time on the couch watching TV, then you are wasting your time on this planet. By the way, you're doing your kids and your country a disservice. I'll be back tomorrow with more Riell Truth. Hasta luego.